everybody, and welcome back to episode 50 of Subs Lie Dubs Lie, a comprehensive anime podcast. It's your boys Jay, aka Versace Vegeta, and D. How you doing, Doc?
Yo, what's going on, brother Jay? What's going on, people? We back at it again with a new episode. I am so glad to be here yet again. Favorite time to talk about anime. The only time I get to talk about anime on wax, so always thankful.
Man, for the 50th time, we are here. This is amazing. To think about how long we've been at this. You know, it's been what? 3 years now?
3 years is crazy.
Just absolutely wild to think about. It really blows my mind that y'all have been rocking with us this long and that we're able to keep going with like such amazing content and to give y'all so many different parts of anime that are near and dear to our hearts.
Can't take advantage. Like, shoot, I'm always grateful for that.
So true, man. This week is just like any other. We're gonna give y'all another fight that's near and dear to us, just like how we did last week when we were able to go over the very climactic battle between Gon and Pito and Hunter x Hunter. Man, you want to talk about a curb stomping? You want to talk about a dog walking? That was one of those.
Got that behind beat, rightfully so.
But it wasn't like it wasn't deserved, right? Like,
yeah, it's one of them beatings where you like, way deserved. In fact, should have been worse, but that point was hammered.
Literally. To the fact that Pito had even been able to survive as long as she had only speaks towards Gon's credit. As the virtuous character that he is, really. This week, though, we will be getting into Yu-Gi-Oh! GX in the end of the first season with the graduation duel between Kaiser Ryo and Judai Yuki. A really great point of the series, right before everything sort of changes into the story that Yu-Gi-Oh! GX becomes. But before we get into that, how's the past week been for you, dog?
This week, feel the same these days, but nah, it's been calm, peaceful. You know, the time is going by fast. I don't know whether to say that's a good thing or a bad thing, but January, that joint went flying. Didn't do much besides work. So this was the weekend. I don't know what possessed me. After I finished watching Daima, I decided, you know what, I'm going to watch Dragon Ball GT. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Maybe because of Dokkan, who knows? But
yeah,
I watched GT, right? And I am somebody who said, you know, GT is not that much of an annoyance or whatever. I'm changing my opinion because GT on a binge is possibly the worst thing to watch, like ever. It sucks. It really sucks. It really sucks. There are cool moments in the series, like.
But we're talking about watching it.
Watching it as a series, as a marathon, watching it as a series, taking it for what it is. This, I am just glad that it is just video game material because. The show, not it, brother. Like at a point, I thought that they could have had a good ending. They had like the little Tenkaichi tournament after they fought Baby, and I'm like, hey, Goku and Vegeta do their little face off, and Goku's like, oh yeah, I'm hungry, and they start laughing. I'm like, oh yeah, the show should have ended. They go on. Super 17 for as much as I like that character design, that arc is some dog water.
It's too quick.
Dog.
It's too quick. It almost is like they took the concept of the Janemba movie, the concept of it.
Yeah, the concept and just some my 17 from hell. oh yeah, I can do all of. Shut up. That was some. Whatever. First, the Earth having random earthquakes, and you had to move them to the Tuffle fake planet. Oh yeah, and Piccolo. Oh yeah, I'm gonna die, man. Most definitely, it's my responsibility. My previous farm made these Dragon Balls, so I should do this. Shut up. No. And then the last arc. I'm not finished with my rewatch. I'm on episode 62. Adding a negative to effect to using the Dragon Balls, it sound cool on paper till you watch GT implement it.
How it plays out.
That sucks. Plus and minus energy. I was hearing that. Me and my pops was watching it. We was just clowning, bro. We was just clowning. Like that, it is peak awfulness from Dragon Ball content. Like honestly speaking, I'm kind of glad that evolution still exists, because a part of me really likes some of the stuff that arc of the Shadow Dragons had to offer. Like Gogeta, that's fire. Omega Shenron, fire.
I mean, for the longest time, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was the pinnacle of strength in the Dragon Ball universe. It was just the idea of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was like, yo, man. Like,
game breaking. Like he's it. He's the greatest fighter ever, even though he trolling in his fights and stuff. And that little Big Bang Kamehameha, which the game gasses up, because the anime, I saw that, I was like, oh, this sucks. But yeah, I like the character. Well, I don't even like the characters, because Pan, I dealt with 60-something episodes of Pan annoying as hell. It don't matter what language you put. But I guess I like the characters in the video games. So shout out to GT for having good characters in video games. The series is stink. I'm never touching that shit again.
So, with you having gone through so much of Dragon Ball GT lately, where would you say GT jumps the shark? Like, at what point is it like, nah, man, this ain't it?
Baby, they start stretching out the baby fight. Like the minute Super Saiyan 4 Goku happens, I'm not expecting a stomping, but they're dragging it out, and the ape stuff is kind of cool and all of that. And I know full power Super Saiyan, which I like, it's similar to the I guess the God ceremony thing that the movie used for Battle of Gods, where you have all the Super Saiyans or Saiyans around giving power. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, just hurry this up, bro. Like the problem with GT, it stalls a lot on things that don't need to be stalled on, and the things that need to take a little bit time, it is rushed. The 17 stuff, like all that, like just rushed. But that baby stuff, all of that was stretched out to oblivion for what? The Shadow Dragons, all them Shadow Dragons suck up until the 7th and the 8th one. All them they suck. The first one, he had his little cigar and he stink. He absolutely stink. You know what I'm saying?
I like the idea of the Oceanus dragon. The one that turned into Princess Oto.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool. But I haven't watched that episode in a long time. It might be way more mid than I remember it.
And the whole series, it's just frustrating, honestly. And some of this, I get it. It's Toei just trying to grasp for straws. Like Dragon Ball dying is getting his ass kicked by Neon Genesis and all the other stuff on television, 96. And it's like, you're trying and you don't want this cash cow to go, all the way bye-bye. But it resulted in some of the stupidest pieces of writing in Dragon Ball ever. Like ever. When you compare it to Toyotaro, and I've had my problems with Toyotaro. Toyotaro don't got nearly as much sense as whoever was writing them GT episodes, or how many writers. I don't even know. I don't even want to check. I don't. GT is an experience. It is the Dragon Ball series of all time, and we're gonna keep it at that point forever.
Dragon Ball GT really is Toei just re-rocking ideas from movies. From like they really banked on nobody knows about Hachiyak and nobody knows about the plan to destroy the science. Like no, they really banked on no, y'all did not play that game. So here, baby.
Yeah, no. Like, and baby was cool to a degree until it just ran too long. Like, it ran too long. In the first couple, like, I don't mind the little slice of life nearly esque GT episodes, the first 10. But that baby, when they start to turn on again, I'm like, okay, cool. And then it's just like, okay, we're here. He's turning grade 8 Goku. He's beating the living daylights out of baby. He turns into Super Saiyan 4, which should be stronger than 8. He's just stalling around and all. Like, oh my gosh. I don't know what they got. I don't know what they was going through. It's a reason why it doesn't have much episodes. Cause they was on thin ice. They was burning out. Them boys had no more embers. I promise you. The writing team was like, you know what? I don't think we're gonna make it past 100.
They were right. They were absolutely right too, because GT did not have the staying power that any Dragon Ball property had prior to it. Clearly Toei was just spinning the wheels. They were like, hey, look, we understand Toriyama's done with the story, but this is making us a lot of money.
Yeah, we not done yet, buddy.
And they did write it until those wheels fell off. They really got lucky 2 years later.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Toei Animation got lucky 2 years later with One Piece. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So lucky because y'all tried it. Y'all tried it.
It's amazing just the amount of things that Toei will pull. Toei really did pull a Saint Seiya on Dragon Ball GT.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you look at how the Saint Seiya anime went, like that's just like, hey, here's the continuation of those events, but this is our version of it, you know? Mm-hmm. Whereas with Saint Seiya, Toei would put that in the middle of the series.
Yeah, adding a bunch of it's not even in the damn volume.
Yeah. Dragon Ball, they said, okay, after the series is done, here, we can just throw in whatever the hell. Did Toriyama give us the consent to make it? Good enough.
Yeah, he said just make it look cool. There was some cool designs, but cool designs don't mean cool stuff.
No, you're right about that one. Yeah, Super Saiyan 4 is one of the coolest ideas I've ever seen in really most action anime, right?
Yeah.
I really love the design. I love the display of power. Anytime some new Super Saiyan 4 stuff comes out in any video game, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm in there.
You and I have both been chasing Super Saiyan, the latest Super Saiyan 4 Goku in Dokkan's 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, no, I get it. I get it. It's just, when you go back and you watch the episodes that it's in, it's like, damn, this really isn't that fun, though.
It's not that fun. Cool card, though. Cool cards.
Personally, for me, my past week's been pretty decent. I've continued on the PC gaming journey with getting back into like playing some games I've been wanting to play on here for a while. I last week decided I just got a whim to go back and try to test out a graphics card that had been gifted to me that was going, meant to be like an upgrade for what I've got in my PC. First time I tried to use it, I had some like flickering issues and it made me just like disheartened. So I decided to like just put the old one I had back in there, right? This time around, I decided, let me make sure I'm just doing everything the right way. So got rid of all the previous NVIDIA updates, you know what I mean? reinstalled it. Had some flickering with the HDMI port. Thankfully, my boy D was able to help me along the way while I was getting everything set up. But now I'm running a really decent graphics card in here. I'm able to run like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on my PC clean. We're talking about averaging between 75 to like 130 frames per second.
And that's really good for a game that is that spacious. That is really good.
Yeah, especially for a game. And this is like, it doesn't dip that much when I go into little towns and stuff. You know, like the gameplay has been solid. It's playing better on my computer than it was on the PS5, and that's just because the PS5 only will go up to 30 frames per second on that joint. Like, I ain't got a Pro, so.
Oh, if you want to run performance mode, you want to see some blurry nonsense.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that was. Yeah.
And now that's not the case whatsoever.
Yeah, I enjoy the game so much more on PC. Like I always do. Like, so I'm glad. Keep on doing your thing, Sony. Keep porting the games that I don't know why y'all keep as exclusives. You know, your PC's not competing with you. There's no PC console. So, you know, maybe down along the lines, not a year, but maybe 5 months at best. You wait, and you know we can all have fun. Sure.
Man, as I'm telling you right now, like it's really getting to a point to where these games are running so much better on a computer than they are even on the PlayStation. You know?
Yeah, it's like true.
Much better.
Yeah, so much better, and like I get it. Consoles, you know, something you accustomed to. We've all been accustomed to since the dawn of gaming. But you know what I'm saying? You could get the same experience from your console on your PC, like
if not better.
Yeah, you want to hook it up to the TV? You move your computer to your TV, man. I do the same. I do. Well, sometimes I want to play it on my 4K.
So serious, yeah. So serious.
I do that. You know what I'm saying? A controller, you don't gotta be bound to your mouse and keyboard. You can use your gamepads, and you can use any gamepad you got.
That's the best part, right? It's like you can use any kind of gamepad you got, right? For as long as there's some sort of like pack for it that'll let you, you know, ignore that. Recognize those controls rather. That's what you'll get. Not only that, like, and I know, look, we've talked about PC mods all the time, but for a game that I've already put 100+ hours into, to be able to say, oh, hey, let me start with just all the materia, or like, you know, start with and have it to where like I have 8 materia slots on my weapon and my gear, right? Thank you. Appreciate it, because I would love to be able to play this all over again where I don't have the same difficulty of like I've got to start from fresh. I can't cross over my save file, so
unfortunately,
give me the shot to do what I can, right? You know what I mean?
Let me get my new game plus my way.
My new game plus, because Lord knows I already did new game plus the normal way. On
exactly.
The PS5, right?
You could cut, like, that's the great thing about PC, man. Like, having mods that can essentially make the game harder or easier is always going to be a win-win. Like, the game's hard mode not hard enough for you. I'm pretty sure some sick lad got something that's going to make the game.
There's already a 2x HP and 5x enemy HP mod. I played with the 2x on just because it makes the fights not indispensable.
It makes
being able to actually enjoy the combat when I'm engaging in it, right?
Exactly. For all the talks about the combat that's really good, and it is like, you're smoking a lot of stuff from the beginning,
and
to
that's even if you're not using a mod like I was.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really dope to be able to have these sorts of features available. I appreciate being even if you just got the game, you know what I'm saying, like the Steam Deck, the game on Steam Deck, or you've got the game on, like, you know, your Asus ROG Ally or whatever. If you got it on a portable PC, that's enjoyable too, right?
Yeah,
Like this is just
exactly playing that on the go is crazy,
right. A game
like,
of
Rebirth, like, man, it was not my game of the year, but it is a game of the year candidate.
I believe
Play it on the
it belongs up there with the games
yeah.
of last year.
Yeah, exactly. So to have that on the go, oh man. Sony, that Portal, whatever. I'm not counting that, but realistically, I'm not counting that as a true experience because Wi-Fi dependent. But having that on the go, really fire.
I'm really excited for just the era of gaming that we're in now and where gaming is headed.
Yeah,
because there ain't no way you could tell me that these console companies like Microsoft and Sony aren't looking to come out with some sort of handheld competition for these gaming PCs, especially with the Switch 2 on the way, right?
Yeah, that looks pretty damn good.
Look, yeah, and listen, Switch 2 I think is gonna be real nice. So if we're talking about like how great it is to be able to play on the Steam Deck, which at this point is kind of outdated hardware, I'm excited to where gaming is gonna go from this point.
Yeah.
But this week we go from talking about them games to getting our game on, because Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, my Duelist Academia. That was an era of Yu-Gi-Oh! That, for me, I felt like this is where that the franchise is branching out into its own thing. We don't have to have Yu-Gi around for forever in order to have these adventures in an anime form. We can rely on other characters to sort of take the banner and have new adventures. So, having come right off of the original Duel Monsters series, I know I was still all in with Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, shoot, it's a school format in high school. The time GX was, like, I forgot when GX was out. 06, 08, around that time period.
It was like 04, 05, something like that.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm still in the love of the game. I always thought that concept of a dueling school is pretty fire. So I was already gung ho from jump about it, and then the MC Judai or Jaden, like, he's so much different from Yugi, and I like that. The whole just thinking with your gut. He's just like, he's carefree, heart of the cards, but in his own way. It's like his own little, I guess the will of the heart of the cards is the same, but in a different manner.
Yeah, it felt more like he believed in the team of his cards.
Yes.
Rather than being like, oh yeah, the right card is going to show up at the right time every time.
Yeah. So that's perfect. I like I like my MC who's not like, he's just more fun. Like, and I like the whole the Yugi switching to Atem and all that stuff. Like, that's cool and all, but I wanted a chill, laid back character, not gloom and doom, not super serious all the time. Like, you don't need that. I mean, you definitely didn't need it. So to have an MC who's the exact opposite and the vibes were good, a great, amazing start for GX. There was nothing to complain about. Second half, it gets a little bit gloomy and dark. Still good, but gloomy and dark like the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. But for that first stretch, that season 1, good times were had.
And in this season, especially in this exact duel that we're going to be going into, I could perfectly see why you picked Judai as one of your favorite anime protags. He carries that same sort of carefree nature, right, that we've seen in a lot of main characters that we've covered this season. And I feel like that shines through a lot. in this specific duel, because this is the culmination of Judai in everything we've known him as in this first year of the anime's run. So him being able to go against an opponent like Kaiser Ryo, who instead of being Yugi chasing Kaiba, or eventually then Kaiba chasing Yugi, Ryo decided, I respect Judai as a duelist, and when it comes to graduating, that's who I want to face off against.
Yeah.
I really loved that entire dynamic in this duel as well. So I want y'all to stay tuned after the break as we go into the end of the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX with Judai Yuki versus Kaiser Ryo.
A typical day at my school is anything but.
Dueling 101.
Dude, you're about to get schooled.
Science of monsters.
Jaden!
Deck assembly.
Don't fail me now. Get your game on at a whole new place. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. This Saturday morning at 11 on the CW for Kids.
This will go on your permanent record.
Sweet.
This duel right here was one where it was very interesting as a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan, because for the first time in God knows how long, you have a main duel between characters where the world's not at stake.
Yes, right? Not anticlimactic. Like, enough, bro. Sometimes that gets a little bit overbearing. One arc, stakes are super high and all of that. Cool. But Yu-Gi-Oh!, like I said, that was like the theme.
Yeah.
The theme from the first episode. A little bit too stressful at times for me.
This one had very little stakes, even in terms of what this battle was about, right? Just going into it, you've got basically the best duelist of the elite class of Obelisk Blue, Kaiser Ryo, and he's going to be graduating. With him being the best performing senior duelist, he gets to choose his opponent for his graduation match. So he decides to go and choose one of the best new duelists in Judai Yuki. I thought it was really dope that he didn't come at him with this like forceful, like, no, I expect you to be the best and you have to show me why you're the best. Like, he came at him and kind of like approached him real calm, like, yo, like the typical dueling that you do, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, like it's a perfect balance. They're obviously yin and yang, but they can respect said yang, and I like that about Kaiser Ryo. You don't gotta be just overbearing, obnoxious guy. Like, and even when you first see him, you kind of get the impression that he might be snobbish, but after a while, you see that he's just really serious about dueling. Not that, like, again, you could be serious about your craft without being, Seto Kaiba. Like, yeah. I just want people to know that. Like, you could be that 100%. So having Kaiser Ryo just come in, first of all, he's going to a dorm that he ain't never stepped foot in. Like, my man came in the Duel Academy at the best of the best dorm in Obelisk Blue, and he's taking his time to go out to a place that he got no business being in and say,
beneath him almost to a degree.
He came in there, bro. The doors have like it needs some lube or something, because they living in trenches over there. You know what I'm saying? Like a slifer, like you a slifer, like the English stuff would call them like slifer slackers, and like because they just like, yo, you at the bottom, legitimately. So for somebody who is dueling royalty in this academy to come pick little old Judai, that's so nice. You know what I'm saying? It just was a nice little battle. It's the end. It's his last battle at the school. MC man, come see. Let me see what you got. You know what I'm saying? You a little fun duelist. Yeah. You always have a great time. You never pout. You're always just having fun. Let's have fun.
And that's really what makes this duel stand out as a fan of the original Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Because even when you had your Kaiba, go and challenge anybody, he was basically, what I'm saying, waving his dick around, right? He would come around and say, like, hey, listen, I'm Kaiba. You should be glad that you're even getting the chance to duel against me.
Stupid stuff, man. Like, come on. I get it. Oh, I'm Kaiba Corporation. I'm Mr. Dragon Man. I have a god card. I'm this. I have to beat Yugi. That Vegeta-esque nonsense in early Dragon Ball Z, just showing its face. Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't want that, bro. It's a card game. Nobody out here moving like that when we playing the game in real life. I don't know Kaiba out here.
That's what makes it so dope, is that Kaiser Ryo really had, in all intents and purposes, could have stepped up to Judai and been like, this is gonna be an easy win for me because I already know I beat you at the beginning of the series.
Yeah, like outclassed, outmatched, and still didn't treat him like garbage
because he's respected the growth that Judai's made throughout the entire series up to this point, right? Even Ryo's little brother is like, this is a big deal, man. Like, he's facing you in a graduation match. Like, are you ready for this? And I think it's only at that point where Judai's like, wait,
it's like, oh yeah, messed him up. Absolutely, messed him up.
Am I even gonna be able to like do well against somebody that's so perfect?
Yeah. Had him in his head, so he's just over there. He's just studying, making counters upon counters, reading. Like, let me introduce you to Judai. Judai is a happy-go-lucky kid, like Gon, like all the other characters.
Yeah, very much like Gon. Yeah,
happy-go-lucky. He's there for the adventure. He's there for the good time. He is not trying to go ahead and make a counter duel, counter deck. He's not watching no film or game tape. He's on strictly vibes with his elemental heroes. So for him to go ahead and try to take this a little bit super serious, it's kind of off-putting, but I guess you can look at the growth and say, hey, Judai understands that when it's time to get serious, it's time to get serious. But this was not that time at all.
And it's wild because this is the point where, Judai is just kind of like, hang on. What am I going to do to face off against him? And at the end of the day, all he can do is just the sort of tactics that he's been building up throughout the season, right? Ryo is someone who battles really intelligently, thinks ahead, plans certain strategies. Judai is a very intuitive duelist, right?
It's a great clash. I like the ideal. Like, the ideals are they clash a lot. Like Kaiser Ryo, he's always thinking. It's so methodical. It's like he's slowly picking you apart. Like, it's to a point where you gotta know what you're doing, but at the same time, don't try to get a one up, little counter stuff.
He's the type of person you try to outthink, because that's Ryo's style.
He's the thinker. You can't outthink the thinker. That's his role. He's perfect.
Judai is really good at countering, but not in that strategic way.
Yeah,
he'll counter with his fusions. He'll say like, "Oh, boom! I just have this ability now that'll allow me to sort of skate by." Whereas Ryo's like, I can overpower you in an instant.
Yeah. Oh yes. The way he pulled out them cyber dragons, bro. I knew why I liked Kaiser Ryo, because that little aggressive style of dueling, that's fire. And it's, again, for a character to be that aggressive, but he's poised. Like he's not wilding out like Kaiba. He is a great duelist like Kaiba. He does not act like Kaiba. That is the perfect character for him.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Ryo really has a love for the game.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Kaiser is a character that likes to be challenged. He doesn't like to just win. Like Kaiba's obsessed with winning. And that's really his folly. That's his downfall. Yes. Whereas Kaiser likes to be pushed. He recognizes himself that he wants to enjoy the duel. That's why he's interested in facing off against Judai. Because Judai has been able to pull off these sort of impossible victories ever since he got beaten by Ryo in the beginning of the series. So Ryo's like, okay, I see where you've grown. Show me.
Yeah.
And honestly, early in the duel, Judai's not doing that. Yeah. Judai is fighting this sort of like long play style that is nothing like how he's been going up in the series thus far.
Having the chance to ask, hey, do you mind who goes first? And Judai picking that you will go second, you should know it's off. That's not him.
Nuh-uh.
It's not him at all.
He's literally giving Judai the chance to be able to set things at his pace.
But poor Judai, I'm blaming it on Kaiser Ryo's brother. Because
I feel like he got in his head in a way he didn't expect to. Like he got Judai in his own head.
Yes, Sho
should have freaked out. Sho should have just been like, "Yo, that's really dope, man."
Yeah, no, he just, which is that's a whole nother topic. Sho has a weird little complex, so nonetheless,
especially as the series builds up. Like I always felt like Sho was a really good example of what you do when you have a Mokuba-like character, but you treat them a little bit more seriously.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely. Realistically, that's a great comparison.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you allow the character to kind of build beyond just being that younger brother.
Yeah. Yeah. And my God, they did a really amazing job with that.
They did. Sho's a great character by the end of it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! GX as a whole. I could easily go into like a whole thing about all the characters, really.
Yeah, literally. Like
because I feel like they handled the characters better in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX than in the original Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, they really did. I think they realized that the super series stuff, you gotta save that for maybe one arc. You know what I'm saying? That whole the doom and gloom.
Yes.
Save that.
Let the story build to that. Don't start there.
Yeah. Yes. And I think that's what was really like the whole difference between Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon essentially realized that this whole brand, we're still marketing it to kids. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, it's marketed to kids, but it's trying to be super serious. Super serious. Like some things as a child, I can imagine if I was 8 or 9 watching Kaiba telling Kaiba's about to jump off.
Yeah.
Off or what, like that's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of crazy. And none of that's there in GX because they realize that this is a kid's show. You know what I'm saying? It's a kid's show. And there's some people that complain about the lack of, tension, but like, it's a school, my dude. It's a school. It's a school.
I don't think the series needed tension until towards the end.
Exactly.
Because by that point, the school aspect, it's not that it's ran its course, it's that what are you going to do beyond that? How do we take them past just the school aspect of it without growing them up and doing a Digimon Adventure 02 with it? And I feel like they did that tastefully.
They did using a school to your advantage is school. Children as they go up in grades, they obviously mature. They develop their own little characteristics. And this little Duel Academy is the perfect way to make your characters seamlessly transition to what you want them to be towards the end. It doesn't seem far-fetched. They're kids, they're in school, there's so much experience going on, they're going through a lot of things. The interaction with all the duelists inside the academy and whatever happens outside, serious moments, the funny moments, it all leads up to something great. And that's where GX went. And somehow, in my opinion, I think GX is a little bit better than the original. That's just me. I'll be on that boat.
There are a lot of ways where GX doesn't spin its wheels.
Yeah.
The way that Yu-Gi-Oh does, right? Like, you remember in the original Duel Monsters, there's that filler tournament arc that's right before the Millennium arc.
Yeah.
And it kind of like they introduced the Chaos Emperor Dragon in that arc, and it's kind of just there to promote cards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it was literally there just to promote card packs. That Yu-Gi-Oh! GX doesn't have stuff like that.
Yeah, thankfully. Yeah. The reason why I think GX is better than Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters is because, like, true, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Zero, or the beginning of the manga, like, I think that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Without the dueling, that story, the way how they made it dark and deep, it fit the card games that Yami was doing. Like, that fit perfect. When y'all start doing duels, card and all of that extra, it's a little bit off. I'm not gonna lie. But
yeah, because Yami was not necessarily invented for
what not supposed to be some perfect
Yu-Gi-Oh! Becomes. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like he's basically the Punisher, essentially. Like he's handling things to, in ways that a main character is, like, it's kind of a little bit off. Like,
yeah,
basically sending them down. Like, that's the real Shadow Realm. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Zero, that's the real Shadow Realm.
Yeah, no, that's
the
way when he was going around killing dudes. Those were the real Shadow games for real.
Yeah.
But going back to Judai and Ryo, the first half of it does go pretty well, but up until a point to where Kaiser basically acknowledges, like, hey, you've not been fighting at your best. Whatever is happening, like, you're way too in your head, and this is not how you duel.
Yeah, and he's getting frustrated.
In perfect, like, D's favorite pro tags type of fashion. That's the only way I can explain it. But man, Judai's like, well, I did give myself a little too hungry by thinking too much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take a moment to eat. And Ryo, being the character that he is like, of course, man. If that's gonna put you at your best, somebody bring my man some food right now.
Yeah.
And
he over there bowing down, like, he got that Goku appetite, man.
It's a play on how he uses his gut instincts, literally.
Yeah,
like, if he's thinking with his gut, he needs his gut to be full.
Audience explains it perfectly fine, so it does not sound far-fetched at all. The way how he duels, it definitely is strictly from the gut. They are using scientific theories to actually, back up the fact that he really might be really good because of this. So yeah, really great stuff here.
And honestly, this is something where I am really excited to see where Judai starts dueling at that point, right? Because once he's filled up his stomach and he's, all good, he's like, all right, cool. Now I can finally go all out. And even though this is just the a duel that lasts 2 episodes. This is just the second half of the second episode. It was cool to see him like ramped up and ready
the
to
tables
duel.
were turning.
Yes.
Yeah, that you really saw the scale because, like I said, he was getting a little bit overpowered and he was making plays prior to gut thinking, but not like this. He's quick thinking. Remember, he put himself in a bind to switch up your style mid-duel like this and still deliver. It shows that the potential for Judai it's sky high, super sky high.
I love seeing Professor Kronos tripping on the fact that like he's able to eat there in the middle of the match. That's just like such a great foil character. Really,
absolutely, man.
Really thought he was hilarious.
Yes.
Once the duel picks back up, though, like we've got them both having made some pretty good moves against each other, but like this is really where it starts to settle.
They're spitting like they're going at it. Them last couple of turns, they're going at it. It feels fierce. Nobody's making wasted movements. It feels calculated on Ryo's side, and you got Judai. He's over there. He's quick thinking with his gut. He's just making plays. This is them showing their highest level of dueling at this point of the series.
For sure.
I thought.
I have to admit, back in the day, I was a big fan of the Cyber Dragon cards and the E-Hero cards.
Oh, I spent so much money on both.
Bro, same here, man. I had to have Flame Wingman. I had to have Skyscraper. I had to have Shining Flare Wingman, E-Hero, Sparking, all this, everybody, man.
I had to have them. This series is part of the reason why.
The Hero Neos that he winds up getting later on.
Oh my God.
Man, had all them Johns. Man, yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is probably the end of my spending journey. Like when it comes to like actually buying Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards physically, but I was all in for both of these cards. Both of these characters, like card archetypes. Really was a fan of those. So I love seeing this duel.
I was really collecting everybody. I knew I was invested in like I forgot the other, like the Bastion character who was making counter with the water dragon joints. Like I like that. Marufuji's shows little. I never got those.
The koala.
Yeah. Manjo Mei's card. Manjo Mei Thunder.
I always thought he was a really cool character too, man.
He really was. Like, Jax really got a great cast of characters.
It does.
I ain't gonna lie.
It does.
Yu-Gi-Oh, Duel Monsters. It's kind of tough for you, boys,
because GX gives you battles like this, right? Where Ryo busts out his, Cyber and Dragon. All three of the dragons all out combined with the power limiter, with the limiter removal. My man gets like 16,000 attack stat.
That was the highest stat for that series until Zexal.
My man Judai goes, all right, bet. I got Battle Fusion. I can up my attack equal to your attack, get 20,900 attack stat. My boy, Ryo goes, I got one of those too.
Yeah, bro, they're going at it.
36,900. And this is where I really love the climax of this duel because, it's at a point where they're both just like, like our powers are going to be so damn powerful that there's nothing we can do but to go all out here. And Judai's like, you're really great, Kaiser. You're one of the most perfect duelists out. You know what I mean? And he straight up says like, but that's my own limits. I gotta test my way against going against you, Judai, and within you, there's infinite potential.
Yes, like that line sticks out. Like Kaiser Ryo, like, he knows this is probably his peak, which is insane because he's an amazing dueler. And when we're watching most Yu-Gi-Oh series, like, when you see a duelist dueling at their highest level, it only goes up. Yeah. And for Kaiser Ryo to admit this, and then the turn around for Kaiser Ryo, because after this, like I said, for both characters, this is an immense development. Like, this is, for better or worse, this shapes the characters.
Very true. Very true.
So, yes, that little talk of like, I'm perfect, but yo, you got infinite potential, and it is true. And Judai hits him with the, I ain't going outside like this.
Busts out the trap. The final fusion,
that was so fire. I was like, and like, Kaiser Ryo, he really like he doesn't intend to lose.
And it's just like, yo, with that one card, they both take damage equal to the combined attack of both of their monsters. And like, come on, we all know life points start out at 8,000, bro. You know what I mean?
Bro.
They're only in the hundreds at this point in the fight, so that's an instant draw. Instant draw.
Oh, perfect. This is perfect booking. Nobody looks weak. Everybody comes out happy.
My man Judai even congratulates, Ryo on his graduation, and they both just pass out laughing. Like they're happy to have reached this pinnacle with one another's dueling, to be able to test one another. Judai definitely seems happy that
he loves
he's
dueling.
Been able to reach a level to Ryo, and Ryo's happy to see that Judai is the duelist that he believes that Judai really is.
Yes, coming of age, passing the torch. Y'all know that that's my favorite trope. Y'all know that. If you haven't ever heard me talk about the most of the series that I like, there's a trend. Is a passing of the torch. This moment is indeed the passing of the torch. There's no better duelist than Judai in the Duel Academy after Kaiser Ryo. This is him passing that nod. Whether the grades reflect it or not, I don't even know how they get good. The test is hilarious, but as far as dueling goes, Judai, he is taking the mantle. He's up there now. He's one of them ones. He's going to be the one that saves them out of trouble, and he's going to be the one recognized as the best duelist in this whole damn school. Perfect duel. The crowd is cheering. You got Sho crying, tears of joy and all that. Chronos crying. They all happy. Good, feel good moment, man. And this is what you like. Like, this is a perfect to end the season off. This is perfect. Super perfect.
It really was. There was really no way to end it but to have the main character rise to show that he's the best in his class, equal to the greatest senior duelist as well, right? Mm-hmm. Like, really is this, like you said, the setup for how their characters go, because both of their characters take some wild twists after this point.
And the next season, bro, Mr. Phoenix coming in.
Edo Phoenix.
That boy.
And the wild thing is like, not to get too far ahead, but you can definitely tell Edo Phoenix is based off of season 0 Kaiba.
Absolutely.
In every way.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, oh man, we got a new take on that here, and they doing it right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX starts off as and ends up as one of them once.
Absolutely. The States did a terrible job of not finishing the series.
Real shame we never got the 4th season here.
Yeah, you just skipped to 5Ds, and that's really what probably soured me on 5Ds, because I wanted season 4. It would have been interesting to see them cover this little emo Judai in dub form, you know what I'm saying? But alas, that was their choice. They made it.
And it's wild. That would have been so good for all of the GX fans that have really been in it for the long haul, because you know, even with where it ends, if let's say you had been watching since Yu-Gi-Oh, you get to end seeing Jaden, for the folks in the States, facing off against Yugi.
Against Yugi, and that's fire. Fire. You knew that was going to happen. Like, you felt it.
Yeah.
It was the perfect from the first episode. You know, it had to happen. You didn't get it though. They told you to eat crow, and you don't see this man until that movie that they have. I forgot the name of the movie, but that has all the pro tags from the Yu-Gi-Oh series.
That really set the tone with how the rest of the Yu-Gi-Oh series would go. But I do feel like GX might really be a peak for how the series plays out, in terms of just like the storyline still being gripping for fans that had been there since it began, feeling that connection from the beginning, and even just seeing, you know, these characters take their own serious arc turns towards the end, right?
Yeah.
GX is everything you're looking for in a Yu-Gi-Oh series, just as much as the original one is to me.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really glad we were able to go over this fight this week, G. Thanks again, man. This is one where I was really glad to be able to revisit GX. A series that I never got to see all of season 4 for. I did see like some of the dubbed episodes, but I never got to go through the whole thing. So I was excited to sort of like revisit this series and get that feel again. Next week, though, boy, oh boy. Oh, man. It might be a little bit of a downer for some.
We going to depression.
Next week might be a little bit of a tough one for some, because we are going straight into the end of Evangelion. As we go over the battle between Asuka Langley's Evangelion Unit 02 versus the mass-produced Evangelions, we will give a good enough synopsis on everything that happens up till that point in the end of Evangelion, the ending parts of the series, my thoughts on that movie as a whole, my introduction to it, and so much more. As we go over one of my favorite anime battles, because this is a pivotal one for me. Like,
it is all the way fire.
By the time I saw this battle, I had been an anime fan for quite some time. I just had not actually gotten to see that movie yet. So when I did, I was like, I knew Evangelion was on some wild shit, but I didn't know it was on this.
I feel like there's two animated series that always gives you that big shock that this is not a plaything. Berserk and Yowie.
Yeah.
Both of them, I feel like at the end, when it's all said to it, you come out at least worse than you started.
A little bit more jaded. Yeah. A little bit more jaded for sure.
You need a disclaimer before you watch the series, especially E, man. You better be careful of what. Don't come in there depressed as hell trying to watch the series.
Yeah.
You
definitely gotta be in the right headspace before you get there. Otherwise, oh man,
you gonna be chilling with Shinji and them.
So you got a week. Get your game on as much as you can. You know, tune into something that puts you in your happy space. Because next Wednesday, it's not what we're gonna be.
We getting all the way negative.
We getting all the way there. But until then, subs lie, dubs lie. We don't, never have, and never will. Thank y'all for tuning in with us for 50 episodes. We hope to bring y'all 50 more, and then 50 more after that, and 50 more after that, and 50 more after that.
Yeah, just like Judai, our potential is limitless. So let's get it on.
You damn right. Y'all tune in next time. Peace.
Holla at your boys. That's never them.